Some men spend sleepless nights thinking about a woman's past. How many partners she had, what she did before him, what secrets she hasn't shared. But here's the truth most men don't understand. Her past doesn't matter until her present behavior exposes something deeper. That's the moment everything changes. And it has nothing to do with how many names were before yours, but everything to do with how she starts showing up with you. A woman can have a wild past, but if she's loyal in her present, if she chooses you with her actions, not just her words, then you still have a bond that can grow. But when her actions start to shift, when she begins testing how much weakness you'll reveal, that's when her past suddenly echoes into your relationship, not because of the past itself, but because of what it triggers in the present. The Stoics warned us about this long ago. They taught that a man must never openly display his weaknesses, especially to a woman. Why? Because true strength isn't about complaining, begging, or seeking pity. It's about enduring hardship with calmness, patience, and resilience. When you break that frame, when you show her weakness in the wrong way, you don't just lose her respect, you lose yourself. This is the hidden shift most men never see coming. They confuse stoic endurance with silence. They confuse emotional control with tolerating disrespect. And by the time they realize the difference, they're already drained, emotionally erased, and questioning their worth. Today, we're going to break it all down. What her intimate past really means, why it only matters when her present actions cross a line, and how a stoic man, calm, disciplined, unshakable, should respond when she starts testing the core of his masculinity. This isn't about bitterness. It isn't about judging women. It's about wisdom. Because when you finally understand the difference between what happened before you and what's happening right now, you'll see everything much clearer. So if you ever wonder why your presence suddenly feels less valuable, why her warmth fades, or why her respect quietly slips away, stay with me. Because what you're about to hear will change the way you see women, yourself, and your relationships forever. The shift that matters. Let's be brutally honest. Her body count, her stories, her past flings, those details only matter to men who can't control their own frame. A stoic man doesn't get rattled by shadows. He doesn't waste his energy fighting ghosts. But here's where it gets dangerous. When her behavior in the present starts to echo patterns of her past, that's when you need to open your eyes. Maybe she starts pulling away after intimacy. Maybe her touch feels colder, her laughter shorter, her eyes less connected. She tells you she's tired, stressed, just not in the mood. And you start wondering if it's you. That's the moment most men slip. They overcompensate. They buy gifts, send long texts, plan trips, pour out affection, trying to pull her back in. But that's not strength. That's desperation dressed as devotion. And women can smell it. Here's the stoic truth. You cannot buy back respect with effort. You cannot fix emotional withdrawal by giving more of yourself while she gives less. That's not love, it's imbalance. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." The problem isn't her saying she's tired. The problem is what you make it mean. You tell yourself she's slipping away, so you panic. You beg. You complain. You reveal weakness in the worst possible way by showing her you're more afraid of losing her than of losing yourself. And that's the exact moment when her respect fractures. Why her past suddenly matters. Now, let's tie this back to her intimate history. You see, her past doesn't define her. Her present does. But when her present starts mirroring the chaos of her past, when her behavior shows emotional retreat, games, or coldness, then her past becomes a preview of where your future is heading. If she lived in cycles of drama before, and now you see those same cycles forming with you, that's when you wake up, not because of jealousy, not because you're insecure, but because patterns repeat when they're not transformed. A stoic man doesn't judge her for what she did before him, but he does judge the choices she makes now. And when those choices disrespect his presence, when they test his dignity, he doesn't ignore it. He doesn't rage. He doesn't cry. He simply observes and then decides. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply that to your relationship. If her actions aren't aligned with respect, if her presence isn't true to the bond you share, then no amount of history or promises can fix that. This is where most men fail. They confuse patience with weakness. They think being endlessly understanding will keep her. But the more you tolerate disrespect, the less she respects you. The silent test. Here's something every man must understand. Women test men unconsciously. They want to feel the gravity of your presence. They want to know if you're grounded. And the easiest way to test you? By pulling back, by withholding touch, by becoming colder. Not always intentionally. Sometimes it's just emotional drift. But your reaction is what tells her everything. If you crumble, complain, accuse, panic, she sees weakness. If you chase harder, smother her with affection, gifts, reassurance, she sees desperation. But if you stay calm, observe, hold frame, remain centered, she sees strength. And this is where Stoicism separates men who get destroyed from men who grow stronger. The Stoic doesn't need her constant validation to feel whole. He doesn't collapse when intimacy fades. He feels the absence, yes, but instead of reacting, he reflects. He asks himself, is this aligned with my values? Am I respecting myself by staying here? Or am I tolerating behavior that violates my dignity? That's real power, not anger, not withdrawal. Clarity, the man who breaks or the man who holds. Let me give you an example. Two men face the same situation. Their woman grows cold. The first man panics. He tells her she doesn't love him anymore. He complains about how much he gives and how little he gets. He shows her all his wounds, hoping she'll heal them. But instead of healing, she loses respect. His weakness becomes the proof that she was right to pull away. The second man notices a shift, but he doesn't collapse. He doesn't beg. He doesn't complain. He holds still like a mountain in the storm. He watches. He measures. He stays grounded. And when the time comes, he speaks with calm authority. Something feels off. I won't ignore it. I need respect, affection, and presence in my life. If you can't give that, I'll choose peace over pretense. Which man do you think she respects more? Which man do you think feels more like a leader, a protector, a force? The answer is obvious. And the difference isn't in charm, money, or looks. It's in Stoic strength. Why this matters to you. Every man who's been in a long-term relationship knows this ache. That quiet doubt when her warmth fades. That confusion when her body is there, but her spirit feels gone. And in those moments, you face the same choice men have faced for centuries. Do you reveal weakness in a way that erodes her respect? Or do you hold your frame with calm resilience? The Stoics would tell you this. Pain isn't your enemy. Pain is your teacher. When she pulls away, when the connection fades, that's not a signal to collapse. That's a signal to rise, to sharpen your perception, to recenter your energy. Because at the end of the day, her past doesn't break you. Her actions now don't even break you. The only thing that can break you is abandoning yourself. Understand this. Her intimate past doesn't matter until her present actions reveal patterns that threaten your respect. That's when you draw the line. That's when you choose self-control over panic, dignity over desperation, and clarity over chaos. A Stoic man doesn't chase what's slipping away. He doesn't beg for what should flow freely. He doesn't allow weakness to define him. Instead, he embodies patience, resilience, and strength. And here's the truth. Once you start living this way, you'll see women differently. You'll see yourself differently. You'll stop wasting energy on ghosts of her past, and you'll start focusing on the reality of your present. This is only the beginning, because now that we've set the frame, it's time to go deeper, to expose the hidden signs of emotional disconnection, to reveal the subtle ways women test your strength, and to learn exactly how a Stoic man should respond when his dignity is on the line. Stay with me, because what comes next will show you the exact line you should never cross. If you want to protect your masculinity, your energy, and your soul, at the end of the day, brother, her past is not your burden to carry, but her present actions are your reality to face. The moment you let yourself drown in comparisons, jealousy, or pity, you give away the very thing that makes you a man, your strength. Stoicism reminds us that life will test you, women will test you, and your own mind will test you even harder. But the man who stands calm in the storm, who refuses to break, who chooses silence over begging, and action over complaints, that man becomes untouchable. So remember this. Don't demand her respect. Don't chase her validation. Don't reveal your weakness like a child begging for comfort. Instead, show through your composure, your patience, and your self-control that you are unshakable. Because the truth is, once you master yourself, no woman, no past, and no storm can ever master you. This is what everyday Stoicism is all about. Building men who rise above the noise, who choose strength over weakness, and who live with purpose and discipline. So if you felt the weight of today's message, make sure you subscribe to Everyday Stoicism, because every single day, I'll be here to sharpen your mind, strengthen your spirit, and remind you of the man you're meant to be. Take this lesson with you. Apply it, live it, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay stoic, and goodbye for now.